Chapter 17. Fight. Sky lay gasping, her own strained breath the only thing she heard. Her head spun with such force the wooden floor and white ceiling seemed to mix. She closed her eyes. She needed to hold it together. But passing out might be the better option. The nausea building in her stomach was almost beyond her control. Feet pounded against the wood floor, coming toward her. Sky peeked an eye open. Dylan's beige shoes. He crouched down and reached for her. She realized then just how much she needed his soothing touch. Sky, darling. Dylan's tender voice almost caused her to cry. And although he was as gentle as he knew how to be as he folded her into his arms, a loud groan escaped her. "Where's the doc?" Dylan shouted. Sound rushed at her. It had been a selective thing a minute ago, her strained breathing and Dylan's footsteps the only things she heard. Now it all sped in. People shouting, babies crying, someone fighting. Sky lifted her eyes to see Tom and his two deputies jump on top of Calvin, who was a wild blur of hands and feet. Sky watched, almost unattached, as the chained Pete and Tony threw themselves at the ball of men. Others from the crowd joined the melee. When Jessie rushed toward the fight, her heart skipped a beat. "Dylan," she gasped out as she weakly grabbed his t-shirt and pulled. Dylan was intent on his own mission to get her a doctor. He yelled across the room to Wade, not noticing her pathetic attempts to get his attention. She raised a trembling hand and pulled his face toward her. "Sky, what are you doing?" Sky pointed to the bundle of fighting men. "Jessie. Jessie is in there." Dylan's eyes widened. "No." He took Sky toward the wall and sat her up against it, as far from the fight as possible. He whistled sharply to his brother. Wade was there in an instant, and Dylan nodded to the problem. Dylan scanned the crowd and upon finding Trisha, waved her over. "Stay with Sky." Then he followed Wade into the ever-growing battle. Sky put a hand to her head as she tried to push away the overwhelming pain. After unsuccessfully searching for even a glimpse of Jessie, she said, "Oh, Trisha." What was he thinking? He was thinking he's some great big fellow when he's only a little bitty one. A common defect of most young men and some older ones as well. She eyed the men with a wry grimace. "At this point, I'm thinking they're all just enjoying this, getting rid of all their tension. It's still dangerous. Try telling them that." Dylan and Wade made their way through the brawl, throwing punches and men out of their way. Wade grabbed the boy around the waist and pulled. Jessie's fist still flew as he came, but Wade held him tight, hiking him up over his shoulder when he was clear of the conflict. "Let me go. Let me go." Jessie yelled as Wade carried him toward Sky. He pushed and wiggled as he tried to escape and rejoin the fight. Wade gave him a little shake. "I know your blood is up, boy, but try and cool it down a bit. I can't let you go till you settle." Sky bit her cheek as Jessie eyed the fight, his chest heaving. "Jessie," she said. "I need you. Could you help me, please?" He huffed a few times. "Yeah." Dylan made his way back to them, his hair wild. "You're staying put right here." He pointed from the boy to the floor beside Sky. "Wade and I need to help stop this thing. Let them get beat." Jessie said to Dylan. "I ain't saying they don't deserve everything they're getting. But I want something left for the real punishment. I want them sweating in agony as they wait for it." Jessie dropped to the floor, but his face was sullen. Sky raised a hand to brush his hair back, and he jerked from her as if in fear. "Oh Jessie, are you okay?" He frowned for a moment, then shook his head. "I don't think so. Come here, honey." He sunk into Sky's arms. If she hurt a little bit more because of his weight, she didn't mind. Pulling his thick, dark hair back from his sweaty face, she examined a bruise already forming. "Are you hurt?" "Nah. Not that. When he hit you, the whole room turned red. I couldn't take it. All I could think is that I had to stop him. Tears formed in her eyes. It's okay, Jesse. You're okay now. No matter how many sessions they would have, Jesse would always combat his own violent tendencies. Dylan waved Wade on to help with the fight, which Tom was getting under control. He sat on the floor beside Jesse. I get it, I do. But most times, you gotta fight those feelings. Try to think it through, no matter how tough it is to do. In this case, there is no cause for worry. Skye kissed the top of Jesse's head as she scanned the room. The judge has it well in hand now. They shot Skye a bewildered glance before looking at Judge Munson, just as he raised his arm into the air. The blast of his gun echoed through the room, numbing their ears.